Welcome back to Cheddar's Opening Bell, everyone. Impossible Foods is now available for purchase in Canada. It's the first non-Asian international expansion for the company, and Canada is now Impossible Foods' second biggest market. For more on this, I'm joined by David Lee, the CFO of Impossible Foods. David, always good to see you. So why was Canada the next natural step?
Well, what a great place to launch Impossible Beef. Something like 25 kilograms of beef are consumed on average per capita per year in Canada. And as a result, there's been a cry for us to eventually serve this market. Super excited. We're at places like Joe Beef in Montreal and Patois in Toronto and Charcut in Calgary. Really great chefs and great restaurants known for great meat.
In terms of what the Canada market offers, David, has COVID changed that at all?
Well, I think COVID has changed everything. It's certainly changed where meat eaters are buying their meat. We tried to innovate and adjust on behalf of our food service customers, but we're also adjusting on behalf of our meat eaters. 9 out of 10 of our customers are self-avowed carnivores, and that means where they go is where we need to be. You've seen us increase our retail grocery business from 150 locations at the start of the year to over 10,000 today. And launch our own direct-to-consumer business because that's what the meat eater demands.
Now, are you planning any manufacturing facilities in Canada, or is this just simply distribution to Canada?
Well, today we're just announcing the brand new offerings at these great restaurants with chefs. We're not disclosing our global supply chain today, but we have a global mission in business, and there's no question that eventually we hope to not just serve people globally, but to be making products globally as well.
Beyond Meat expanding into China, you do have a presence in Asia, but it's my understanding not in China yet. Why is that?
Well, we wanted to start in the places that are known for being gateways to the rest of Asia. Asia comprises 40% of all meat consumption, and 28% of it is indeed in China. So it's an important market, and we will be there eventually. But we're very excited about our business in Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, with great chefs that are known for setting trends throughout Asia. And I could tease a bit of good news that will be coming in the next coming days. So stay tuned about our business in Asia.
David, in terms of how the pandemic has shaped the business as a whole, what financial position are you in right now? How healthy is the balance sheet?
We've been very fortunate at Impossible Foods. I think we announced closing a round of funding Friday in March before we ordered our own shelter in place for our employees because of this global pandemic. And very recently, we announced an additional $200 million round for a total of $1.5 billion money raised from great investors like Cotu and Mirai Global and many others. So the good news is we are able, with our balance sheet and our support from investors, to continue to focus on serving meat eaters in more and more places now, like Canada.
And when you consider expansion in other parts of Asia, specifically China, David, I'd be interested to know, with President Trump's threats against China, if that has any impact on you. President Trump saying just a few days ago that if a U.S. company wants to add jobs overseas in China, they will be punished for that.
We've always bet on a market-based solution. We've always bet that the magnitude of the problem this world faces is so large that innovation and change is inevitable. And specifically, we've bet on meat eaters, that meat eaters will vote with their stomachs, that if we give them Impossible Burger and Impossible Sausage that's better than anything else, that has no cholesterol, all the protein, and is better for their health and the environment, that they'll overcome any headlines of the day. And so we're very long-term focused. We're long-term focused on China as well. So we don't have any new news to report today on that front, but we're very excited about the prospects of the massive change the world needs, including in China.
Beyond Meat still well above its IPO price of $25 a share at $134 a piece. That is your pure play competitor in the public market. Any more updates on whether or not an IPO is in the near future for you, David?
Well, I'm not announcing an IPO or a direct listing today. I will say, we believe that our competition is actually meat made from an animal. And the fact that 90% of our consumers are meat eaters seems to bear that out. The market opportunity for this $1 trillion+ meat industry is one where there are plenty of room for a rising tide of great brands. And so our focus remains on the meat eater and their choice to pick us versus protein from an animal.
What does the market research show in terms of how Americans, how people in Canada and Asia are feeling about making that transition, or at least introducing alternative meat into their diets?
Well, I think it's been amazing, the trend recently. It's almost as if folks who are sheltering in place are more thoughtful about the choices they're making for the food they choose to buy, whether it's the impact on their health, on the environment, or what it says about who they are. And we've seen, I can only speak to the business that we have here at Impossible, 150 grocery locations to 10,000 in 8 months is a good reflection of the demand from meat eaters for better choices like the Impossible Burger. And I don't think it's going to end on the other side of this pandemic, whenever that is. It's because if it's a better offering and it has fewer compromises, meat eaters like to repeat purchase. So we're betting that the product itself will be the best ambassador for the mission we have.
We were hearing all sorts of stories that it was challenging. The supply chains were disrupted. Getting meat, getting milk and dairy during the early months of the pandemic was really challenging. Even though you don't want to disclose where exactly your supply chain is built out, was it disrupted at all in a financially adverse way during the pandemic?
At Possible Foods, we haven't seen any major disruptions in this 2020 period, inclusive of this global pandemic. You remember, we have so far less of the challenges that the incumbent industry has. We don't grow animals, transport them, slaughter them, process them heavily in slaughterhouses with labor that we've seen now is oftentimes at risk. We avoid all that. We skip the animal, we go straight to the plant, and as a result, we don't have a lot of the challenges you've been reading about that the incumbent industry is struggling with.
All right, David Lee, the CFO of Impossible Foods. David, always good to see you. Thank you.